So I'm going to show you guys how I make my fermented buckets. I use Firehouse Subs. I'm not an advocate for them, but you can buy these for $3 and they go for a good cause. They make perfect buckets for my ferments. Next, you will need what are called diamond drills. I get them in a set. I'll put a link in the description. I use a 30 millimeter because that is what I'm going to need for my spigot. The reason I like to put spigots in the bottom of my bucket is because I'm going to use a tea bag and I don't want my solids to come out. And it makes it so much easier to get your juice, your ferment from the bottom versus at the top, the stinkiness and all that fun stuff. So first we are going to find the location we want to put it. I like to put it as far down as the bottom as I can, so that way I can get all the good juice. You want to put this in your drill. Make sure that your drill setting is set to drill, to the drill setting. I have mine set to the drill setting. Also, just double check to make sure your drill is pointing inward. Next, we're going to find our spot and we are going to drill. This can be a little tricky. All done, ready for our next step. We're going to take the spigot and put this in. On the other side, we will stick a washer and then a nut. See, hopefully you can see that. We will stick our washer in there. And our nut. Make sure to hold this down in the position that you want it to stay. As you start to tighten, it gets a little harder to move, which is what we want. I do recommend after you do this to test it, fill it up with a little bit of water and test it to make sure that no water leaks out and that you have a nice and tight connection down there with no leakage. And there you have it. I like to fill mine up with rainwater versus any other water. Contains microbes. Stick your ferment in here. Tomato, spent tomato plants, any of your spent plants. If you want to make it specific for that plant, old tomatoes, old tomato plants, stick them in here with your rainwater. Let them ferment. It is fall, so come spring, this will be ready to feed your tomatoes. I turn this on, I get a little 1 cup per 1 gallon and feed the babies. You can do this with any plant matter. If you want just a generic, you could put some compost, some chicken manure, just some comfrey is really good. But you can stick any kind of stuff in there and make it your own. Thank you.